Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you are watching this. Welcome to the unboxing of the brand new Xperia Xz1 and Xz1 Compact. First up, let's look at Sony's Xperia Xz1, which is actually the successor to last year's Xperia XZ and will be running alongside this year's XZ Premium. The Xz1 has quite a few subtle design tweaks which make a massive difference when you actually hold it yourself. For example, the sides and the back are now just one piece of seamless metal, which gives you a fantastic rounded feeling in the hand. The phone is quite a bit thinner than last year's Xperia XZ and happens to be 5 grams lighter, so I guess someone's been on a diet. Sony have also rounded off the top and bottom of the handset, giving you a much more rounded and softer feel in the hand. On the right hand side of the handset, we've got all of our button configuration consisting of a camera shutter button, a power button with integrated fingerprint scanner, and our volume rocker. This new placement of the NFC chip is actually far more convenient for stuff like Android Pay and file sharing. On the left hand side of the handset, we now have our SIM tray and our SD card reader. This phone will actually take an SD card all the way up to 256 gigabytes and also has a tiny little tray for your nano SIM card. Don't lose that. Once we put the SIM card and memory card tray back in the device and seal it up, this is now a water-resistant phone, rated IP68, which is the highest you can get for dust and the highest you can get for water as well. And for all you music fans out there, the Xperia Xz1 comes with a glorious headphone jack, meaning there is no need for adapters with this phone. As the phone is slightly thinner than last year's Xperia XZ, the 19 megapixel motion eye camera does protrude ever so slightly from the back, but the lens is protected by a nice metal ring. The Xz1 also benefits from Sony's triple image sensing, meaning that along with the image sensor, we actually have a laser sensor and a dedicated color sensor to help give you the best possible pictures and videos all the time. Now that we've taken off the protective plastic, let's see how the surface holds up to fingerprints. As expected, fingerprints are not going to be an issue on the Xz1. Let's stick a SIM card in this thing and get it set up. While that's powering up, let's just have a quick look at the Xz1 Compact. This powerhouse of a handset manages to fit in pretty much all of the spec from the XZ Premium and Xz1 into a much smaller handheld device, basically making this the only flagship compact phone out on the market right now. This handset is actually made out of a different material. It's actually a glass woven fibre for the back and sides, and as you can see, fingerprints disappear within a matter of a second or so. The NFC Reader is still on the back of the handset, but it is located a little bit further down towards the centre of the back of the phone, which is still a really convenient place for stuff like Android Pay and file transfer. And as the Xz1 Compact is slightly thicker than the Xz1, it does mean that you don't get as much of a camera protrusion at the back. It's more flush with the rest of the handset. The tops and bottoms are rounded off again, just like the Xz1, and of course we have USB-C at the bottom and a glorious, beautiful headphone jack at the top. You may have noticed that the front-facing camera on the Xz1 Compact is different to the Xz1, and that's because this tiny handset has actually got a little trick up its sleeve, which I'll show you guys in a future video, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it. Those of you unfamiliar with the Xperia range may not be aware that there's actually a fingerprint scanner built into the power button at the side. The fingerprint setup is actually really easy and quick to do, so let's just go through that now. And as this is one of the few phones launching with Android 8.0, otherwise known as Oreo, we are treated to a little surprise in Google Assistant built into the handset. And now that we're all set up, we'll be able to go through the home screens, and as you can see, if you swipe left, you actually get Google Now, and oh, would you look at that? Apple stock is down. Well, never mind. If you check out the other applications which are preloaded onto the handset, you'll see that some of them are greyed out, and that's because they are awaiting a little update that will happen over Wi-Fi. And over here we actually have a list of suggested applications based upon your own Gmail account. One little quirky update in the Oreo software is actually these status bar animations for when you slide down for your notifications and slide back up again. One of the most helpful things about the Xperia handsets is actually the Assist widget, which is on the home screen when you first load it up. But if we click on that, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. The first question it will ask you is what your previous handset was. So if you're transferring everything over from a previous Android device which is not an Xperia, you can just click this button here. It will then take you through stuff like your essentials, how to customize your handset, it will tell you about Xperia Assist, how to use your phone as a work device, and also tell you all about the Xperia services such as My Xperia and also Xperia Lounge. Right, let's have a look at the camera. When you first open it up, it will ask you if you want to save your location. Just say yes. It's always handy to know where you took your photos. It also gives you a very quick tutorial as to how to switch between camera modes such as video, manual, superior auto, and also where all the other built-in camera apps are. The dedicated camera button on the side of the handset is actually a two-stage camera button, meaning that when you press it down halfway, it will actually autofocus for you. Now that we've taken our first photo, the phone actually gives us a little prompt saying that we can enable burst shot in the settings. This is a new feature on the Xperia Xz1 and Xz1 Compact, and I'm going to show it to you in just a second. The new burst mode on the Xz1 and Xz1 Compact actually allow you to take 10 full resolution images every second for up to 10 seconds. However, what with this being Sony, they actually go that little extra mile in the camera department and allow you to use their predictive hybrid autofocus and object tracking whilst you are doing burst shot. So if you're trying to take loads of pictures of a moving object, this is the best way to do it. Now let's have a look at some of the other camera features. If we swipe over to the video mode and select super slow motion, we'll be able to see that this is exactly the same setup as the XZ Premium, giving the user the ability to capture 960 frames per second and capture some amazing slow motion effects with just a few swipes and clicks of the screen. If we swipe across to where the other camera apps are, you'll actually notice that 4K video recording is not among them anymore. And that's because it's just in the settings of your standard video camera. Another new addition to the settings in the video camera is your ability to choose which compression rate you shoot 4K in. The benefit of switching to H.265 is that you could actually get a much better quality 4K recording. As we swipe across to manual mode, you'll see the familiar slide controls that were present in the previous handsets. However, now we have the addition of a slide control for your ISO values. This is really handy if you want to take your manual photography to the next level. As we open up the 13 megapixel front-facing camera, we are treated to another little tutorial telling us exactly where we need to look when we're taking a selfie. And if we swipe across again, we'll see this feature called Hand Shutter, which allows you to take an automated selfie just by showing the palm of your hand. Handy. Another new addition to the Sony front-facing camera is Screen Flash, and you can see the toggle switch for this up in the top left-hand corner. This means that if you're taking selfies in a very dark environment, your face will be illuminated. Now let's take a listen to the speakers. The Xperia Xz1 supports high-resolution audio, which is my favourite subject to nerd out about, and they are gracious enough to include a high-resolution audio track in the demo stuff here. Let's give it a listen. Fortunately for us, the Xperia Xz1 has speakers which are 50% louder than its predecessor, the Xperia XZ, and you can really tell the difference. And now it's time for us to check out the screen. The Xperia Xz1 has a full 1080p display, but is also equipped with high dynamic range, which is not only supported by Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, but also now YouTube. So let's check out some HDR footage on here. The colours are absolutely amazing, and what with this being an IPS display, the viewing angles are absolutely fantastic as well. So there you have it, a brief overview of the Xperia XZ1. This handset feels really nice, and it is super snappy thanks to the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 processor in it as well. Don't forget to like, follow and subscribe, and stay tuned for some more in-depth videos on the XZ1 and Xz1 Compact coming very soon.